And you're all set.
Cool. First of all, hey everyone, nice to meet you. I'm Justin. Thanks for having me. So I was asked to talk about the AI changes on Google Search and how they're impacting local businesses, which is my area of expertise. So I'm gonna kind of do a brain dump of everything that I think might be relevant for you, and hopefully you find some value out of this. And my plan is to give you enough info to be able to fix this stuff on your own, if you're not using any tools, or I can also share how our tool fixes all this. Um, I need permission to share my screen if you can allow that. There we go. Cool. So some quick background, who I am. I founded Merchant about 6 years ago. All that we've done is focus on Google business profiles, which is really the heart of marketing for any local business, because 90% of people will do a search, like uh, realtor near me. And then the vast majority are going to scroll right past these ads. Only about 2% of people, if that, will click on them. And then about 85% of people are going to click on one of these profiles here, or click more businesses, which brings you to the Google Maps version of this. And these are powered by your Google business profiles, or what used to be called GMB. And then down here are the websites, which get around 10% of the remaining clicks. But as you can see, they're mostly owned by like Realtor.com and Yelp and Zillow. And so there's not much opportunity for a local office to really win on the website side. And so that's really why I've focused my entire business on Google business profiles, because this is what really moves the needle for businesses. And the really good news for us and for you is that these aren't becoming any less important in the AI era. So the vast majority of people still go to Google to find a local business. And while still some will still go to traditional Google to do this, about half of the people are actually seeing the AI mode as their default now. So if you're typing, real estate agency in Los Angeles, about half of the people are going to see this result instead, where Google pulls together information about the Google business profiles, and then shows them here. And the unique thing you'll find is that there's no websites listed here. Um, so instead they're kind of giving you information about each business, so you can figure out which one you might want to call. And then instead of linking over to the website like they usually would have, instead, if you were to click on this, it's bringing up the Google business profile. So there's even one click removed from the website. It's not until you then click here that you can even get to the website. And then here they're going to talk about, why they think some of these are special. So that again, when you click on them, you can bring up the Google profile. And one thing that I want to point out that is very interesting in this is that because Google is summarizing each business based on what they know, um, there's many fewer views on Google profiles now, technically, and many fewer clicks, because you don't need to click on this to really learn about it, because Google's going to tell you everything they want. So if there's not a keyword here that resonates with me as a searcher, I'm just going to scroll past this. And while before this would show up as a search in my analytics, or sorry, a view, it's no longer going to show up at all until I click on it. And now it's going to count as that view. So you might have realized in the last 3 months or so that your Google business profile metrics are looking very bad. And it's really just because Google's not counting this as a view until you click on it. Whereas before, in the old search, if your business just showed up, it counted as a view. But on the bright side, what you're seeing is that when someone does call, if you are showing up in these results, that sorry, what you're probably seeing is that you're getting more calls than before, because if you optimize your Google profile, Google is able to sell your business on why they should call you. And so we're seeing that well-optimized profiles, their views are going down, but their calls are going up, which is really interesting. So again, there's not a single website that you can click on from this search result. Whenever you click on these, it's going to bring up the Google profile. And then if you want, you can click on the website from here. And when Google rolled this out, they started changing what they were rewarding business owners or Google Business Profile managers for providing, because they need more information on businesses to be able to provide, what they're known for, or what they specialize in. And so they started rewarding businesses that provide different types of information recently, which we'll go over in a minute. And just so you know how, we have all this data, we built a platform called Page, which is a fully automated Google Business Profile manager. You can think of it as like your own little marketing agent that goes out there and optimizes your profile constantly, as well as your socials and your citations and a bunch of other things. And the amazing thing about Page is that it doesn't just do this stuff, it also monitors what happens after doing everything. And so it's looking at the performance data for, the 10,000 odd Google business profiles that's managing and seeing what works, what doesn't work, and then can adjust the strategy accordingly. And so we have tons of really cool data around like what moves the needle each month so that we can adjust our strategy. And what I wanted to do here is share with you some of our latest findings from what our data scientist was able to find in our data. And I want to just mention our data scientist is awesome. She's actually a professor of data science and machine learning at the University of Pennsylvania. So we got really lucky that she decided to help us. So let me just share my screen. Give me 1 second. Okay, I think you can see my screen now.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So, so these are the data scientist findings from analyzing millions of data points in August. So last month. And in this study, we wanted to see what was different between the top 10% ranking Google profiles on our platform and the bottom 10%. So by that, I mean like what actions or settings like were more correlated with the top performing profiles in the bottom. And here's what we found. So one, there's a lot of stuff that goes into ranking a Google business profile. It's not like a do this one thing and you'll instantly rank higher. You can see there's tons of things, and each of these bars basically represent how important or how strongly correlated it was with being in that top 10 performing bucket. And I'll call out each of these a little later, so you don't need to squint so much. Okay, so the top five, ignore this typo, that should say August. The top five things were keyword rich reviews. So that was the fifth most important thing that you should get to. Let me bring something up actually, so I can show you. That was the fifth most important thing that you could get in August to rank higher. And so what I want to show you is what a good review is going to look like. So actually, let's do realtor in Los Angeles. We'll use real examples. Okay, so this was a very nice review that Cesar was so nice to leave. I'm not seeing any amazing keywords in here. I mean, the word buyer, that might help for reviews that they get, or for searches in the future for like realtor for first-time home buyers. Like that'll probably help for that long tail keyword. The keyword realtor is in here. Home tours is not that useful. New home search isn't a great keyword. How housing properties, I don't know, home, like this one's pretty weak, right? There's no real keyword in here that's going to tell Google like what this business is about and then give Google a reason to highlight this business based on this review. Um, and then it looks like all of their people left comments, which is great, but I was hoping to find one where there's no comment, basically just to say that a 5-star review with no comment is pretty much worthless currently because Google really wants these keywords in the reviews. So they're clearly putting a lot of effort into making sure their reviewers leave comments, and that's probably why they were at the top of that extremely competitive search. And I want to show you one way that we help people get keywords in their reviews. So let's say that this is, let's say rep equals Julia. All right, let's say there's someone in your office by the name of Julia, or you want your review to say your name in it. What you can do is send this link to your client. And when they say there was excellent or good, it's going to ask what they liked the most. And so here we're going to say the communication. And then Paige is instantly going to write a review talking about the business and how the communication was so great. It's going to mention Julia, and it's going to include the target keywords for your business so that all your client needs to do is say, yep, that looks good. It'll copy it over to their most likely their cell phone. And then when this loads up, all they have to do is paste it and hit the 5-star. So that's one way that you can get a very SEO optimized review. The next thing that we found to be the strongest correlation with ranking was the rate of adding new questions and answers. And that was a very interesting thing that changed as AI became more important for Google because Q&As on Google profiles were pretty worthless. Up until maybe like 4 months ago, like we really saw very little value in doing them. And if you're not familiar with the Q&A section, that lives right over here on your profile, questions and answers. And random people online can ask questions and you can answer them, or you yourself can ask these questions and then answer them. And so our page product actually will ask a new question pretty regularly and then answer them based on the information on your website. And it doesn't say that you were the one that asked the question, so there's no shame in asking the questions. I think that's pretty much how everybody does it today. And the reason for that is because AI search platforms and LLMs learn best with like FAQ or Q&A formatted questions. And so if you have them on your profile, Google is able to learn more about your business, which is how they would be able to highlight you in that AI search result that I showed earlier. Okay, the next thing was the media on the Google business profile. This is everyone's least favorite to have to deal with, but by media, I'm referring to this section here. So making sure that you're uploading images and videos to your profile regularly. A view with happy clients, homes in the area, the for sale signs up, basically any pictures you can upload that prove that you actually operate in that area and kind of give a good indication of what your business does will help you rank higher. Google is also moving towards a more like visual interface. And so like, for example, they gave me a different one right now, but they're experimenting with a full top banner display that shows all the pictures and the information as well as this Google business profile. And then also in searches, if you type in best pizza in Los Angeles, you'll see like Google really wants to show people videos in the search. So definitely make sure you have images and videos on your profile regularly. And again, that's something that Page can help you do. The next thing is the total number of reviews. That one's pretty self-explanatory. And I'm like always embarrassed to say this, but if you remember looking over here, there's a lot of things that go into actually ranking higher on Google search. There's no one silver bullet here, which makes the final thing and the most important thing is active weeks on page. And you can kind of just take this as like, you don't need to use our page product to rank at the top. But if you don't, you really need to be doing everything all the time on your profile, because it just goes to show that if you do like all of the things that Google has available on your profile regularly, they will reward you by showing you to more people and putting you higher up in that search result. And so, you can of course go in and optimize your profile every single day or every other day by adding new updates, or replying to reviews, or adding new images, or whatever it might be. Or you can use our page platform to automate that for you. We launched Page about 18 months ago as a product version of our old Google Business Profile Manager service, and it's already managing around 10,000 Google Business profiles. So I'm confident you will love it. So that's all I have for you today. Sorry for going really fast. I didn't have much time, and wanted to make sure that that you're able to get as much from this as possible. So with that said, I'll hand it back over to you.
Thank you, Justin, for your time. I appreciate you coming on board. I know your schedule is super tight, so whenever you need to get off, you're 100% fine. Thank you.
Well, thanks so much for having me. I've actually got to run, but thanks so much, everyone. I appreciate you taking the time to learn about this. Have a good day.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
So let me share my screen real quick. So when they're talking about updates in Google, it's super important to understand that now with Google's AI search, and about 35 to 40% of the individuals who are doing searches on Google are selecting AI mode. And like Justin says, AI mode is pulling from Google Business Profile, pulling from YouTube and Google Maps. So imagine that it's not pulling from data from your website. Your website's super important, absolutely, because you want clients landing on there to search for properties, look for properties, get more information about you. But with the AI search, it's optimizing your Google listing. If you have one, great. Make sure you manage it, because what Google is going to say is like, hey, you created this Google listing and you haven't, and you set it up, and I see you added all this information when you first set it up, and now it's been 2 months, 3 months, and you haven't touched it. What Google wants to see is, are you going to manage your Google listing as if it was your actual business? So it wants to see you do regular updates, whether you use Pages, the AI software that Justin has, or you do it on your own. I mean, we use Page AI for one of my brokerages. The other four, I manually do it myself because I just wanted to see the difference. And it literally takes probably about 5 or 10 minutes a week to keep up with your Google profile. Because once you've set it up, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Once you've set it up, then you're just going to go in and maybe tweak a bio, add a picture, upload a video, reply to a review as the reviews come in. And it's not, honestly, it's not overwhelming. The problem that where most agents fall on keeping their Google listing optimized is they don't have a plan in their schedule to review it regularly. So if you have a schedule on prospecting 8 to 12, Monday through Friday, then that's a routine that you got. So let's say you decide, or I'm going to do social media marketing Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 8 to 9. Great. Well, somewhere in there, maybe add Google My Business, a 10-minute slot, and that's dedicated time to manage your Google profile, just to go in and check manually what's going on. So the main thing is, like when I was talking to Paige, excuse me, to ChatGPT, I was giving it all the data on all the updates that were happening on Google My Business. And I asked it, I says, hey, what's the most important recommendations you can give on optimizing a Google listing and generating leads? And of course, 9 things consistent. It says 9 moves that consistently drive. Okay, great. So stack in high quality reviews. Like Justin says, keyword rich. Now, you guys know as much as I do, it is not easy to get a customer to leave a review for you and says, can you please put this in there? But if you have a client that you're working with, and remember, you don't need a Google review from a client at closing. You could get a Google review from a client as you're working through and walking them through an open house. It doesn't matter. It's a review that they're giving on you, on the service that you're offering. So could they do it at an open house? Could they do it when you first meet with them and you're showing them doing comps? You know what? Thank you so much. You've been so helpful. I said, hey, would you mind leaving me a Google review if you like this service that I'm currently providing? I know we haven't closed your house yet. You could still get that review, but then figuring out how you're going to say, hey, let's say Bob Patel is a great local real estate agent in Visalia. Well, local real estate agent in Visalia is something that somebody would be entering to search in Google for a local realtor in Visalia. So that's where you have to come up with is, okay, how am I going to ask these reviews? And can you ask for reviews from your vendor partners? Absolutely. If you're doing a transaction with American Home Warranty or your local rep or your title company rep or your loan officer, could you give them a professional review and could you ask them to give you a review based on the transaction you closed? Yes, you can. Reviews are so important. It's unbelievable. Then it says, add your niche. So if you have, yes, possible, let's go on. Oh, guess empty, value vague. So you want to make sure it's value rich. And most people, if I go to a Google listing to, yep, not that one. Let me switch. Not that account either. Sorry, I got too many accounts. This one. And we are going into services. Most agents will select all the services that they have, but will never, once they enter it, will never click each service. Let's say buyer agent services and add a description up to 300 characters. That is where Google's AI search is pulling data, AI. So what happens is if you notice right here at the bottom, it says 295 out of 300 characters I have maximized. So when you have your Google listing and you're adding services that you're providing, true services you're providing, you want to make sure that you go in and strategically write out the description that you want for that particular service as is content oriented. So you want to make sure you fill this out the way you want for every single service that you have. It's going to take time, and this is where most agents will fall off. Man, it's a lot of work, and they'll want to come back and do it, and they will not do it. I'm telling you, you start doing this and other agents in your own market are not doing this. Guess what? When somebody's searching AI for a realtor, you will probably show up before they do because they're not optimizing their Google listing. Most agents will do it the minute they find out, like, oh my God, Gina got in our office, got 2 leads from optimizing her Google listing. Now, usually they'll bother me and, hey, can you help me set up my Google listing? But then just hoping to get a lead and then they'll never manage it. Well, it's going to have a negative impact. So you want to make sure that if you decide to create this particular profile, you make sure that you manage it. Main thing is if you go to edit profile, and I'm going to go back to the list, you want to make sure you have the right categories, 1, 2, up to 3. We have 4 because we're pretty much wide. You make sure that you have a description that is in here. If I hit the pencil mark in the description, it says I can go up to 750 characters. You want to utilize every single character if you can strategically. Then you have an opening date. Whenever you open, put that in there. There's a phone number you want to put in there. There's an option for a chat. We don't have a WhatsApp or a chat app because we're at a brokerage. We don't answer. We want everything going to an agent. We don't have it. If you're an agent, you definitely need to set this up. Click on this, select if you want text message, put your phone number. So what you're saying to Google and to the customers that see your profile, hey, you're welcome to text me anytime. So instead of them having to call you, they can hit the text option and text with you, or you can decide I want them to use my WhatsApp. So if you have a WhatsApp number, you can actually put in the chat URL. It says WhatsApp link to chat URL. And I was looking up that earlier because everybody's asking me, where do I get that URL? I'm like, I don't know. So what I did is I went on to Google. URL, how to click a chat, text to chat, and technically what it said is right here. That. So you copy that, let's say for training purposes, I'm going to go back in here There it is. What I'm doing is I'm taking this one and all these X's out. 559 733 9696. If that's the number to the WhatsApp, that's what you put in here. So now a customer that goes on your Google profile can click WhatsApp, chat with you via WhatsApp on your phone, instead of them maybe calling you. Like, okay, I'm providing the service that they can either chat with me or call me. So that's basically how you do it. HTTPS WMA. So I'm going to put that. Where is my Zoom? There you are. Zoom chat. Like that. I put it in the chat. So basically, you take all the X's out, put in your area code, and put in your phone number if you have a WhatsApp app. Super important because we're making sure that our Google profile is complete. Okay. So once you do that, I'm going to cancel because we don't do that at our brokerage. Then is there a short name? One of the other things they added several months ago is all your social media profiles. So if you have a TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn, add them all in here. Basically, you hit the pencil mark and you start adding all your different social media accounts that you have. And of course, when you hit add, you select. So now the only other two options I have is TikTok and Instagram, which we don't use. As real estate agents, you probably do. So you're going to add your TikTok URL. If you have Pinterest, you're going to add your Pinterest URL. Okay, so this is where you put in your social media profiles. Then location and name, of course, your address. The service market that you service, we service 4 counties. We actually service 5 now. So I'm going to hit the pencil mark and San Luis Obispo County. It's on the coast. We service that too now. So I'm going to make sure that I save. Close that out. Now, is it okay that you've added, let's say I only service 2 cities, and as your business is growing, you add a city? Absolutely. You can do that. That's what I did on my personal profile, because what's going to happen is if you list cities and somebody leaves you a review outside of that city, it'll probably not show up because you said, hey, I service Tulare County, but then the person's leaving a review for a city located in another county. It's like, well, hold on. How can you get a review from Maryland or Chicago or Baltimore and you're in California and you don't even say you service that state? So what I did is on my profile, my personal profiles, as I get like Gina and everybody else to leave me reviews, as I started getting clients in those areas, I added that area, that city that they are in, boom, added them, it accepted it, and then when the broker or agent left me a review, it matched and the review showed up. So it is ideal to says, hey, I'm a new agent, Bob. Let's say in my town, Visalia, I only service Visalia, Tulare. Put those 2 cities, and as you grow, start adding cities. Because the last thing you want to do is just fill it all in, get all gung ho, never do anything. I'd rather you do it systematically, piece by piece, and grow it like as if you're growing your own business, which is your digital business. So this is where you do that. Then it's important to put your business hours. And let's be realistic, you guys don't work 24/7. So let's not do that. Put in your realistic business hours. Hours, yes, we're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. That's it. We're not open on the weekends. And then you want to make sure that if there's any special hours coming in, you always include them. You hit the pencil mark, it says Labor Day, Veterans Day. Let me review Veterans Day. We are actually closed on Veterans Day. So I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to go back to my other 4 brokerages right here. It's asking, hey, they're all in your account. Yes. So now all of my Google listings are manually getting updated by me to says, hey, we're closed on Veterans Day. So everybody comes across our profile says closed. Does that mean they can't call? Of course they can call. They can chat. I mean, it does, just because you say you're not open past 5 doesn't mean somebody's not going to call you. So you want to make sure you do that. And then if there's anything odd, like different access, brunch, delivery, of course, that's more restaurants, kitchen, happy hour. We don't have that. Hopefully you guys don't have happy hour. More. And then in the more section, you want to make sure that do you identify with these particular businesses? Are you accessibility? Do you have wheelchair accessibility? And basically all you're doing is selecting yes or no. I'm not sure what this is, brand new, it just showed up, a assisted hearing loop. I'm not sure, I'll have to research it. On the amenities, you can add is that, do you have gender neutral bathrooms? No, we don't. So I'm gonna hit save, which is true, we don't. Then we did that one. LGBTQ friendly, yes. Parking, same thing. Do you have free free parking? Yes, we do. That was new. Free street parking. Well, technically, no, you're gonna get your car hit by somebody, so we don't have it in the street parking, but technically we have a big parking lot, so not a big deal. Paid parking lot, no. Paid garage, no. Paid street parking, no. Free street parking, no. But we have a free parking lot. So these, since I looked at this about a couple of weeks ago on this particular profile, if you notice, there's a lot more added. So Google, as you could tell, like Justin says, Google is evolving to let the consumer know that if you pick this location, there is no paid parking, no paid parking garage, parking lot, or paid street parking, but they have a parking lot, which is very helpful to a consumer. Okay, so once we get past that particular point, we're doing an update. Here we are, services, our appointments required. One of the big things I do tell, and if let's say some of the agents in Gina's office are looking at creating a Google listing, I honestly would have them, there's an option on your profile that says location, hide. Don't show the location. The reason why is because if Gina gets 12 agents creating a listing all at the same address, no floor number, no suite number, and most agents, excuse me, are notorious of putting like Bob Patel, Century 21 Jordan Link, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like you are not Century 21 Jordan Link. You are Bob Patel as a real estate agent or a realtor. The reason on my personal business profile, I put no, because then I can put my home address, which Google will recognize, the consumer will not see it. Because for my web design business that I do nights and weekends, I do not have an office the clients can come because typically I meet with them, schedule Zoom appointments, what it is. We meet, if it's local, meet at a coffee shop. I don't want them to come to my office. So a lot of my realtors in my brokerage, when they create this, I tell them, don't show the address, put the office address if you want, but you're not going to show the address because technically most of the time you guys are not in your office. So then when you set that, then you can go down here and let's cancel that one. And you could put yes. So they know they can call you. Hey, can I schedule an appointment to meet with you? Perfect. Yes, you can. So let's say we're just going to leave it at that. I just made a little update. Appointments required. And now we're going to service options here. Do you offer online appointments? Every agent can offer an online appointment. We did a Google training, I think last week or the week before, where you can add your Google booking calendar, add it to your website, and then that URL you can add to your Google listing. They click on it and it says, oh, Bob's available tomorrow between 2 and 3. Book that appointment. Virtual booking. I'm making it easy for my customer. So yes, I do. Do I have an on-site service? Yes. Do I do American Sign Language? No. Arabic, Cantonese, English, Filipino? Yes, we do. We don't have any German, Hindi. Yeah, we do in one of the other offices. And then you go through and figure out which languages you offer and you save. So what you're doing is as an agent, you're optimizing your entire profile. Then once you're done, you're done. Now, the other thing you can do is you can photos. People are saying, well, how do I add pictures and where do I get pictures? Well, pictures could be your location, front of your location, your office, inside of your office, every sales meeting that you attend. If you're taking pictures, if you're getting together, if you're doing a training together, if you're having brunch together with you and your fellow agent, those are all pictures. If you're doing a showing, an open house, a home inspection, take a picture with your home and put it in there. It is all related to real estate. The other one thing that everybody misses out on is your brand studio. They have tons of images, and brand studio and the creative builder will let you create those memories of the century, etc. Those mini little short videos. I would create those, make sure your last slate has your contact, download those and add them all in here one by one. So if you're going to get gung-ho and do that, don't create all of that today and upload it all at once. So you know what? Today I'm going to add 2 images. In about 2 days, I'll add a video. So then Google's looking at it and says, hey, you know what? Thank you. You are actually, I see that you're updating your business consistently, not like others that are doing it and forget about it. And so thank you for doing that. And it's going to start showing your business more and more because it realizes that you're managing it the way it's supposed to consistently. So this is where you can add all your pictures, videos, whatever sales meeting you're doing, whatever charity events you're doing, add them. Everything that you want. Let me pause this person. Some people. Okay, photos are there. I also had a brokerage ask me about, hey, I want to create a blog. I said, well, no, you don't. I said, on your website, no, you don't. I said, the reason I said that to them because they were like, well, for Google. I said, I know. The problem is, I know, and everybody else knows, everybody wants to create a blog, but boy, can they do it consistently? Probably not. So since AI search came out, I'm like, okay, why don't you do a post update on your Google listing? This way you don't have to go into your Moxie account. Okay, so now when you do these, like this one, ready to find your dream home, it's information about finding a home with a picture that's relevant to finding a house. So you can actually, oh no, I don't want to delete. You can actually create a blog post here, see? Different post. The cool thing is you can add, if you don't know what to post, and it says, hey, you don't have an update, which is the post. No, I don't. Do you have an offer? No, I don't have a new offer because maybe it's a brand new agent. Like, well, yeah, I do. I want to start offering home valuation. Home valuation. There it is. Up to 58 characters. Up to 1,500 characters describe that service you're going to offer. Then it says upload a picture regarding that service you're going to offer. When is it going to start and when is it going to end? And is there any terms, coupons, or redeem? So it could be any service you're offering. It doesn't have to be a price. You're offering a service. It's a free home evaluation. That is actually a service you offer. So you can actually enter that in there and put a description in there. The other one is if you're a brokerage or if you're involved with a community a lot, guess what? There's a tab that says event. You can put a title, a description of a charity nonprofit event that's happening in your area or your office is doing, and then put a description. When does it start? When does it end? And put an image. And now you're keeping your Google business updated. Like, hey, we're having a training at the MLS or the Board of Realtors or our brokerage is having a 2-hour training on a subject in 2 weeks. I'm going to add it to my Google Calendar. And so let's say I found my Gina's office, because the only reason I keep picking on Gina is because I see her in the video. Is asked, hey, can you tell me about that training that we're doing in a few weeks? Yeah, she tells you like that. You pop it in here, the date, the start time, and you post. Now you just updated your Google profile. So that is another way you can do that. It is not, and the thing is, honestly, guys, it really doesn't take a lot. Performance right here, it's just going to tell you, hey, what kind of traffic, how many profiles are coming, whether it's calls, whether it's bookings, if they're looking for directions, or did they click on the website. Okay, so that's what that information will show you. If you're going to advertise it there, this is where you edit your profiles if you have any, edit your services if you have any. And that's what we talked about earlier, all the different services you offer. It is a good thing that every once in a while says, you know what, I don't do farm sales no more. Delete it. If it's a service you're not offering, but it sounded good when you put it in, but you're like, I don't never do that. Delete it. It's okay. Remove it. Or if you're now expanding into the luxury property sales, like, okay, you know what? I'm expanding more. I need to rephrase this a little bit more on what's new now about my services related to luxury homes. So it's when you're updating this, Google sees that you're updating your services. That means you're updating your business. Okay, so that is good to do too. So every once in a while, go through here, look at all of this information and says, okay, does anything apply? Do we do anything? Marketing, property? Can I remove some of this stuff that doesn't apply to me no more? Partner marketing, I don't need that one. So I'm gonna delete that one. We don't market our partners no more. with all the new rules. So we're going to take that out and you go through and remove it. If it's something you need to update, you update the verbiage. Bookings, just like here, you would link to your booking calendar. So if you guys hadn't seen the training, I am going to YouTube. This is super important because you know what? Google's booking calendar is 100% free. Booking, this one. Pause, share, copy, chat. Okay, there's the link. So basically we did a link to a Google booking calendar, basically like Calendly, but it's 100% free. The cool thing is it syncs to your primary calendar on your Gmail. And guess what? That primary calendar on Gmail, guess where it syncs? It syncs to Engage. So now you got a booking calendar that syncs to your main calendar that'll show up, which will also, when that event gets booked, will show up in your Engage account there, or your Engage account that you set something for Tuesday at 2 o'clock will show up on your main calendar in Gmail, and it'll wipe out that available spot on your booking calendar because there's already an event there. So the cool thing is it will help you not have conflict of appointments. Really cool. Okay, where were we at? Booking calendar, that one's gone. Close out. So you just add the URL to the booking calendar. Right now, I just went to the contact page because we don't have one. And then when Justin said Q&A, this is the Q&A section. You basically ask a question. So you would ask the question, post it, go back in and reply to it. It doesn't show that you as the owner asked the question and replied to your own question, but you're like, you know what? I get people calling all the time and asking this one question. Let me just put it in here. And you can modify these as you go along. So this is where the Q&A section goes in there. Okay, so let me get out of that one. Ask for a review right here. So now what they change is now you can actually email it and it'll open up your email program and you can email somebody to leave you a review. You can ask it to open up, send a message to WhatsApp, post it onto Facebook. Here's the link to your Google reviews. You should definitely put that link in your email signature. Say, please leave a review on Google. And here's a link. This way it's there. Say, hey, I'm going to shoot you an email, but in my email signature at the bottom, there's a little link, little verbiage that says, please leave a review. Can you please click that and leave me a review on Google? It's easy. You don't have to remember. Or one thing I tell everybody that needs to do it, if you do any kind of open house and any kind of marketing, you could put this QR code. This QR code will land them on your review, says leave a review. They put in 5-star, put in a comment and hit post just by scanning. So technically, could you have a little card on your open house says, if you love my service, please can you leave me a review on Google or however you want to phrase it, because honestly, it could be somebody that just walked in, loved your service, already has a realtor. That's okay. Would you mind leaving me a review on Google if you love my service? He goes, absolutely. We'll just scan that QR code. Is that possible? Absolutely. Okay, so we got that one. And then, of course, profiles is just showing the additional profiles that I have set up in my account. So that is basically how it does. So see, it says list all your services, post weekly, flood your profile with fresh media, just like what Justin was saying, authentic photos, short videos. Remember, Brand Studio has the creative builder where you can create all those little short videos, has tons of pictures, and it says fresh media, which is anything that's happening in your office, take a picture. Meetings, sales meetings, whatever you're doing, take a picture. YouTube, absolutely. If you're not doing YouTube, so with my agents, I tell them like a lot of them are going Facebook Live. They do recording little videos to grow their business. I said, look, if you can you please record that video because you're not going Facebook Live. You want to record it, put it on Facebook. Well, record it, put it on YouTube. From YouTube, share it to Facebook because now it's on YouTube. YouTube is the #2 search engine in the world. Number 2, and Google Profiles AI search will search Google listings also. Put it on YouTube. The advantage with YouTube is whenever you add any kind of video, it allows you to relieve a description, which I haven't done lately. Well, I don't know why I haven't, but let me see if I can find one that I did. Listing description, training videos, Oxy hour. Did I do one on here? Pause. In here, what you do is you have an option. I need to go see the transcript and put in verbiage. You can put up to 5,000 characters like most people do on descriptions of that training. So I would actually do it. So what I typically will do is I'll upload the video. So let's say this Moxie hour that I did a couple weeks ago, I would show the transcript. Here's the transcript. I would tell it, hey, toggle the timestamp, take it out. You guys with me so far? Because I know Gina's really paying attention right now. Gina, you understand that? Go to the video that you uploaded. It's okay. Nothing wrong with that. And then tell it to show when you go to the description, because I just put a basic one. I'm going to tell it to show the transcript. So now what it basically is showing me the transcript of this entire training. I took the time toggle out instead of showing the times. And then I am going to go from here, copy this entire thing, put it in AI. It says, act like a top content creator. I am going to give you a transcript of a training I just did. Can you please summarize it in under 5,000 characters for me to add to my YouTube channel? And it'll take that, summarize it into 1,500 characters or 5,000 or 3,000, edit this video, paste it back in there. So now you have an amazing description of this training that you use from your transcript. This way you don't have to reinvent the wheel or think about it. You just put it in AI. So if I was to do that, chat, new chat. Script, and scriptive content for YouTube. Do you understand? I'm asking it, do you understand what I'm asking? It says, yeah, it's probably going to say, I understand. You have a transcript. Yeah, let me convert it, polish, blah, blah, blah. Call to action. Yes, please provide the transcript. So I am going back to here. Let's see if it'll let me copy here. There's that entire transcript. And then I gave it to it. So it's going to read that entire transcript. So I'm going to walk away. I'm on AI Chat GPT 5 mode, so it takes a little bit longer. What I forgot to tell it is make it under 3,000 characters. So I don't know how long it's going to create it because I want to do it. Awesome, got your transcript. Boom. So now what it's doing is pick a title, and here's the description. And it literally broke it down. To think about it, I didn't have to do the work. I'm using AI to help me become very efficient. But look, it's got keywords, 21 online. Hey, real satisfied, review requests and fixes, content repurposing. Got all of this stuff. So now I got this entire thing I can copy, put it back into my video as a description. And if you're looking for all your real estate needs in Visalia, California, please visit jordalink.com. And I make sure I add my website address. If you want, you can add your social media account. But to learn more, visit us on TikTok, visit us on Facebook, visit us on just like the influencers do. But this is how you can get something polished, written that you can now paste into here and take this out, paste it in there. Now you got a really good description of that video that hoping somebody reads that description, says, I want to watch that video. That's exactly what I want to learn. Okay. So that is super important too. And then you can also say, and by the way, if you love this video, please leave me a review on Google. Here's a link. Paste that in there. Not going to hurt. It's actually going to help you. Okay. Let's get back in here before I get lost. We're almost done. Okay, flood your YouTube, complete your profile. So if you have any other accounts, make sure NAP is identified. So for those of you that don't know what NAP means, name, address, phone number. It is 100% important that if your Google listing says, let's say Bob Patel Realtor, Bob Patel Realtor, BPR is capital. And if I create a Yelp account, I better not create it as Bob Patel Real Estate Agent. They're going to think there's two separate accounts because they don't match. They have to match. The name has to match. The address has to match exactly. If you put ST for street, period, everywhere else, it should be ST period, not STREET. If you do suite, STE, make sure it's that way everywhere else. Or if you're going to do SUIT, that way. So whatever your name, address, and phone number is exactly how you typed it, make sure that every other profile, it is identical. So there's no mistaking AI and AI bots that says, oh, these are identical businesses. They match your name, address, capital, lowercase, all match the same. And it does that. If not, it's going to sync all of those are all separate accounts. Okay, so that's that one. Turn on messaging, just like we said. Either put your regular phone number or WhatsApp if you want more privacy. Add your social media links. So make sure you audit your account regularly and mind core updates and AI changes. There's always recent updated. So basically what you need, what Google is saying now, like Justin said, it wants to make sure you are managing your Google listing as if it was a storefront. And technically to everybody on the internet, it is a storefront. So if you're not managing it, or if you don't have time to manage it, don't create one. Or if you're going to create one, fine, manage it once a week, 5 minutes. And then as you get, if you're a new agent, as you get familiar with your schedule and you have things honed in, then you're like, okay, I can free up Mondays and Thursdays, 10 minutes. Great. Then you set that time aside. You go on your Google listing. I'm going to add another service. I'm going to add a description. And you know what? There's new campaigns that just came out for Major League Soccer. I'm going to get those images. I'm going to put 2 of them in, and then I'll wait for next week to add 2 more. And then I'm going to post something about, let's say, Mitch's open house, because he's in my same office. He's doing an open house. I'm going to add that as a post. There's an open house happening. Guess what? These are the hours and the time. And here's the location. Takes you 10, 15 minutes. So there it is. So let me unmute just in case somebody has a million questions, which most of you probably will. Oh, participant. Okay, anybody have any questions?
Well, there was a few questions.
Go ahead.
Shauna had a question. Oh gosh, where is it in the chat? Did you do open houses on your post open houses on your Google My Business?
Why not?
Okay, that was her
Yeah,
question.
it's an event. So think about it. It's
Mm-hmm.
an event. You could actually, if you're a brand new agent and your office is having, or your fellow co-workers or fellow agents are doing like 6, 7 open houses this weekend, you're like, I don't have anything going on, but I need something for Google. Can you post their open houses on your calendar? Absolutely.
Okay,
You're not
and then
saying it's
Shauna
yours.
had
You're just putting an event that's happening. And maybe the house that the open house is for, go to your own Google, your own Moxie website, find that property, and then paste the link to that property. So then if somebody curious, when they click that link, they go to you, to the property on your business. Even though Shauna's doing the open house, I want them to come to me because I hopefully want to find a buyer. So
very good.
yes,
Shanna had a question previous to that too. Is there a recommended time of the day to make profile posts or updates?
not really. It's not like social media.
Okay, and then
People, they don't have a narrow down like certain times for Facebook and Instagram at the moment. No.
okay, and then I actually had a question, Bob. When he was talking about like updating photos and videos and stuff like that, he was referring to them pertaining to certain locations in your on the Google map and everything. Should we be using like taking the photos with the location information on or off, or do we title them with an address? What's probably the best practice?
You can do the location map. Your iPhone already does a location map or
Hmm.
geotags your phone anyway,
Yeah.
your picture. So I
Okay.
wouldn't put it on there. Now, if it's an image of just listed, because from Moxie Impress that has the address on there, then Google will read the address. You just list it.
Would you rename the photograph under the address, or does it matter?
If there's a description on it, it's not going to make a difference.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks, Bob.
Okay.
And I think there's a new post on one more new question. Would a price reduction on listing be considered an event?
You can modify an event. But it's still an event, but you can maybe go back to the event and rephrase it. Hey, guess what now, guys? This property just went pending, or an update the event. It's still an update to an event.
That's true.
But typically, if it's an event, it's an open house. Let's say, because you're doing it between 2 and 5. If it's a listing that you have, it would be a post. Because a post is good. You see what I'm saying? It's not time restricted to say I'm going to have it, but I'm going to have a listing from this day to this time. So you create a post about your Google listing and then modify the post as you go along.
True. Then you can put in the changes for pending and
Yeah,
closed
just
and all
add
that
it. Hey
other
guys,
stuff.
guess what? This property just went pending, effective, da da da. If you're interested in something similar to this or anything else that I can assist you with, please call me.
That's a good idea, but that would be a chore to do on a brokerage.
But I'm not. That's why I don't do it on a brokerage. I don't even like half the descriptions most agents write anyway, so we're not going to do that. But yeah, it's the hard part with the brokerages is trying to get the agents to have their clients leave a review on the brokerage Google listing when they want to grow their Google listing. So that's why I don't focus on the reviews on our Google listing. We do the best we can because every agent that in our brokerage that has a Google listing want their clients to go to their listing and leave a review so they can get all the leads, which makes sense.
Yeah,
So
clearly.
anything else, guys?
I think that's all for the chat.
Well, if there's nothing else, we'll hopefully see you guys next week. Hopefully everybody has an amazing week. If you need any help, reach out anytime. And we'll see you next time.
I'm right on time. Thanks, Bob.
You're welcome. Thank you.